Hiya, lovelies. Hello. It's Betty here with another episode of Betty's Kitchen and Garden. That's right. I'm in the kitchen today. They've left me all alone and I've finished my cleaning. Oops. So we're going to do a special episode with 3 ways to make a pie. Ooh, I love pies. Who doesn't love a pie? And it's a special episode because I've got with me my friend Molly. Hiya, Molly.
Hello.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, she's very good. Oh, she's good, Molly. You'll find out in a bit. Now, yes, so we're doing this episode about pies, especially because it's coming up to picnic season. That's right. Getting outside and having some portable food. So food you can carry with you, share out if you like amongst your bubble and sit and enjoy in the fresh air. So we're going to do 3 ways of making pies that you could carry outside for a picnic. All right, see you in a minute. Right, everybody, so what we're going to do, I'll introduce you to the ingredients first and what we're going to do, and then we'll crack on. So, number 1, we're going to be working with short crust pastry that I've made previously. That's right. So that's just very simple flour and then half the amount of flour that you've got with fat, all right? So fat and flour together and a little pinch of salt, and you rub it together till it makes like sandy sort of breadcrumby things like that, okay? So we're going to make a pie with these ingredients here, which is potatoes, leeks, a bit of garlic, some cheese, a bit of mustard powder, salt and pepper. That's it really. Ooh, lovely. Right, so that's pie number 1. Then moving along the table, can you see here a little bit more dark and exotic, these pies? So we're going to make a hand-held hot crust pastry pie. So it's like a raised pie, so it stands up. And also for picnics, it's quite sturdy. So you can take it on a little bit of a jaunt and it won't smash to bits in your bag. Now we're going to fill this one with sweet potatoes and some mushrooms. Those are the basic flavours. A little bit of almonds probably, a little bit of red onion, some oregano, cumin, paprika, that sort of thing. So it's a sort of dark and luscious, sort of sturdy pie. Ooh, very nice. And then moving along a bit further, we're going to do things with shop-bought puff pastry, because really, for some people, life is too short to make your own puff pastry, isn't it, really? And we're going to do a little bit of a riff on what you can do with puff pastry. So a couple of things. One is a nice spinach and feta with a little bit of courgette pie, sort of little sausage rolly thing, and then some actual more vegetarian-y sausage rolls, possibly with your vegetarian sausages or with a homemade sort of sausagey mix that I make myself, and then some special additions. So that's sausage roll with special additions, a bit of a spinach and feta, a bit of darker mysterious sweet potato, red onion nutty thing, and then over here where we're going to start in a moment with lick a potato pasty in your hand. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to get started with our leek and potato and cheese pasties that you hold in your hands. So Molly's going to cut up potatoes. I'm just going to give you a quick demo about leeks. Now, leeks can be a bit daunting if they're not already cut up, because they can be a bit mucky. So what you need to do is you do need to, first of all, I like chop off the little bottoms there on the end. So I get rid of them. So I'll just tidy that bit up a bit there. There we are, get rid of that. There we are. And then, can you see they can be a bit muddy? So what I do is I cut down the top like this. Glenys Kinnock shows you how to do this on the Barry Humphries special. If you want to look that up on YouTube, children, it's very interesting. So there you go. And she's an Euro MP. Anyway, so what you do now is you wash down in between these leaves here. So I've got some water there and I'm just going to give that a little wash down so you haven't got any gritty bits, because you don't want gritty leeks. There's nothing like a gritty leek. There's nothing like it, and you don't want that. So, and then I'm going to get rid of some of that water because I've got water everywhere now. It looks like I'm swimming, going for a swim. So what we're going to do when we cut our veg, so our leeks and our potatoes, is we're going to pop them into this bowl here. That's right. So there you go. Can you see there, Molly is cutting those potatoes so she's got nice skinny little slices. Lovely, that's lovely, Molly. And I'm cutting my leeks into little circles. I mean, obviously where you've cut the leaves down, they will turn into something a little bit more flaky. Oh, there we go. That's just how it is, isn't it? That's life. Right, so just going to go along there like that. Not worry about these bits here. We'll use them later. Don't worry, for something else. So just get your nicest bits of leeks and your nicest bits of potato and you pop them in a bowl there. All right? So there we are. Now I've asked Molly to come and give me a hand today because Molly is, she's writing a PhD. That's very nice, isn't it? Aren't you, Molly? You're writing a PhD?
I am.
Yes, she is writing. She's writing a PhD. I know, she's laughing, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And as part of her work, she's having to think about well, what are you thinking about? What have you been talking about, Molly?
I've been talking about the utopian potential of safety.
Oh, the utopian potential of safety. Now that's really interesting, isn't it? I think we all know about utopia. So that's the idea of, I suppose, maybe a sort of fictional place or a no man's land or a place that, you know, maybe doesn't exist. Is that am I in the right area?
It can be a place that doesn't exist, but it can also be a way of imagining better places and better places that could exist.
Oh, I like that. Oh, yes. Better places that could exist or should exist. A utopia of leeks and potatoes. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Pop those in there. That's very nice. You know, it made me think I'd like to talk to you about it because, Molly, I was working last year with some lovely people from Changes, and they work with people who have homelessness as one of the things that's happened to them, and all sorts of other terrible things. And they said, they used to laugh every time we said, oh, we're making pies. And they said, I said, why are you laughing? What are you laughing about? And they said, oh, we do pie. And I said, what's pie then for you, if it's not like leek and potato or whatever? And they said, well, it means psychologically informed environment. And I said, what's that when it's a dope? Psychologically informed environment, eh? And they said, well, it's just somewhere that's safe to be apart from anything else, and it's safe in lots of different ways. And I thought, oh, that made me think of you, Molly, and what you're doing about utopias and places that we'd like to have. Does that ring any bells with you?
It does, because safety is something that it can't be just one thing in the way that utopia can't just be one thing. The best possible idea is not the same for everybody.
That's true.
What makes people feel safe is not the same for everybody.
Oh, that's also true.
Everybody has different needs.
Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? So I think that's very interesting. So while we're thinking about pies and what we're popping in our pies, which I mean, for some people, leeks are not everybody's cup of tea, are they? No, not at all. Molly's already expressed a preference for the sweet potato. She is not keen on the leeks. And you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. And, you know, a utopia can't work for everybody, can it? It has to be a little bit more flexible as a concept, I suppose, or a thing. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Betty's philosophical and sociological half hour on pies. Right, it's very good, isn't it? Shall we? Right, we've got our potatoes. We've got our leeks in here. Very interesting. And we're going to, do you want to just pop that one in as well, Molly? What we're going to do is now add a bit of cheese. So the cheese is over in your department. So if you want to pass me the cheese over, that one that's open there, be lovely. Thank you very much. So what we'll do, so this is just ordinary, like grated cheddar cheese. And what I'm doing, it's gone a bit crispy because I've had it in the freezer. Oh yes, we freeze our cheese. Freeze your cheese, everybody, freeze your cheese. Don't waste it. If you see it on offer, get some and pop it in the freezer. Grab it and pop it in the freezer. That's it. Molly, would you mind prepping me a little garlic? Can you see there's a garlic down there? Great big one. And we only need one of those, so just one little clove I think would be fine. And we'll just chop it up and fold it through. Now this leek and potato pie is based on a recipe that we use at home, and what we do generally is just put this into a greased casserole dish and cover it up, and we cook it really, really slowly for about an hour. But we're going to put this into a pie as a pie filling. So we're going to add into this a little bit of mustard powder. So we're going to have some of this Coleman's mustard powder here, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. There we go, a little bit of mustard powder, little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of chopped up garlic, just to give it a little bit of flavoury, you know, savouriness, extra savoury. And then we're going to use that as a filling for our pasties, handheld pasties, all right, in our pie series. All right, so there we are. Here's our garlic coming along now. I'll just get the salt and pepper. We'll pop that in as well. Here we go. A little bit of salt there. Not too much salt because you've got all that cheese in there. So you don't need that much salt really. There we are. A little bit of salt and a little bit. I've got black pepper here. You can use white pepper if you'd like white pepper. Do use white pepper. That's also nice. There we go. A little bit of salt and pepper. There, can you see? Oh, it's lovely. And we're going to have a little bit of chopped up garlic as well, which is terrific, isn't it? So there we go. Got leeks, potatoes, cheese, salt and pepper, little bit of mustard powder, couldn't be easier, and a little bit of garlic. Beautiful, that's lovely, Molly. Thank you very much indeed. Just sprinkle it on the top there, that's brilliant. And I'll mash it through. There you go, just bung it in. That's it, brilliant. That's lovely. Great. Oh, lovely. Oh, that garlic smells delicious, doesn't it? Very nice. Always good with garlic. Lovely. There we are. Right. So now we'll show you rolling out the pastry and we'll get on with packing them pasties. So now we've got our filling already here. Excuse me. And we've got our pastry already rubbed together here. So I'm going to add a little bit of cold water into this pastry. And I'm going to make it into the dough that we need, all right? Now, also what you can do, don't add too much, that's what I always say, don't add too much water. It's just cold water. And some people, when they pull their dough together, they also wrap it up and then leave it to rest for half an hour. So you can do that, but we're not going to. No, we're not, we're just going to carry on. Nothing bad will happen. There you go, that's it. So, there we go. I've just pulled that into a bowl. Now, don't overwork it. It's not like bread dough or anything like that. You need to give a good old seeing to. So, there we are. There's our pastry, right? And it doesn't matter if bits fly off. Don't get worried about that. Let's put a little bit of flour on there, on the table. Turn that over. That's it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll it out as much as we can, and I always roll away from me just in one direction. Just keep it, cause you're beautiful. They wouldn't remember One Direction. No, they don't. So there we go. Just keep it going. So just roll it away from you like that, and keep it turning round. That's it. Keep it moving. Always make sure you haven't stuck it to the table. That's very disappointing when you come to the end and you find you've stuck the whole thing to the table. Always a bit sad. So I always do this, like that, and just keep rolling, keep it moving. That's it, don't overwork it. I've got a nice cold surface and it's quite chilly in our kitchen, so it's not warm. It's not warm, is it, Molly?
It's not.
No, never is in this kitchen. We've been known to be working in our jumpers and our coats and our woolly hats on occasion because it has been quite chilly. So keep on going. Now you don't want it too thin, because you're putting a filling in that's quite sturdy. So, you know, don't go too mad. There we go. Right, can you see how it's starting to stick a little bit there? So, I'm just going to put a bit of flour there. That's it. Move it round. Whee! That's it. Get that going. This may be unorthodox, but I don't care. There we are. So, got that rolled out to about that thickness there. There we are. Oh. Keeps tearing, which is a good sign, because that means it's going to be lovely and light and crispy. What you don't want is clumpy, horrible pastry that all sticks together and it's a bit like plasticine. Right, not for this one anyway. So what we're going to do, I've got a little bowl here, not quite sure what that measures. Maybe it's 2, 4, 6, 7 or 8 inches maybe across. I'm going to use it to make some big circles like that of pastry. Going to be quite substantial, aren't they, these? Never mind, that's good. Here we go. I think we'll get 3 or so out of this. And that was about 500 grams of flour to start with. Now, can you see this one here? Can you see, Molly? Do you want to come a bit closer? Can you see this one's? Look, I'm having to stick those bits together like that to stop it being a bit of an archipelago. And I'm making it into more of a single island. So there we go. There we are. More like the Isle of Wight and less like the Philippines. There we are. So, there we go. So that's that, like that. Now, what you're going to do now is you're going to move on to filling it. All right? So I'll be back in a moment with filling my pies. Right, so now we're going to put the filling into our pasty pastry. So I'm going to get a little bit of everything and pop it on to our pastry. And I have rolled it a little bit more so it's a little bit stretched. There we go. Now, we don't have to worry too much about putting too much in because you don't want it to burst out everywhere. But it'd be nice to get it all lovely in. There we go. So, now what to do is stretch it a little bit and pull it over the top. Can you see that? Like that. And then I go around, and it doesn't matter. Some people get very hung up on little crimpy things. But, you know, just squeeze it. It's basically what you're doing. As long as you fuse together the top and the bottom of the pastry, doesn't really matter how you do it. And, you know, actually, that looks a little bit untidy, but doesn't matter. So it's all in there. Don't know what you are. You can go away. So then I'm going to lift it up carefully and pop it onto our pastry covered, our little pasty tray here, which we've just covered with a little bit of greaseproof paper. Well, baking paper, actually. Not greaseproof paper. Greaseproof paper collapses in the oven. It's terrible. Right. So here we go. We're going to do another one. Oh, just tore that pastry. Don't worry. I just put a little. There we go. And then give that a little bit of that. There we are. So that's the basic idea. So you just keep going and do as many as you want, or as few as you want. And then if you want, you've got extra, you know, mixture left over. You could always cook that up in the oven just as it is. In, as I said before, in like a little casserole dish or something like that. Okay. Or you could make a big one of these in a big pie dish, if you like, as long as it's nice and deep, and you can fill it right up, and then you can stuff this over the top. But you don't need any more liquid ingredients. Don't be mistaken into thinking you've got to have like a white sauce or a, you know, a ton of cream in it or anything like that. You don't. You really don't. This is just very tasty as it is. Very, very nice. Can you see there? Not as neat as you could be, but you know, it's me. What do you expect? Hey! All right, so just going to do my last one and then I'll get back to you. All right, see you in a minute. Bye. Right, now we're ready to go into the oven. So I've heated the oven up to about 180 if it's a fan oven. That's about a gas mask. No, it's not. It's a gas mark for what she's saying. I've got a little bit of beaten egg. Going to brush that over the top. You could use a bit of water, you could use a bit of milk, you could use, oh, I don't know, cream, all sorts of things, whatever you happen to have to hand. But I am just going to use a little bit of beaten egg because it gives it a nice crispy brown finish. There we go. So just going to do that. And then the next thing I'm going to do just before we put it in the oven is I'm going to make sure there's a little hole for the steam there. There we are. There is on that one because it's already broken. There we are. Doesn't matter. There we are. Doesn't matter, nothing bad will happen. And in it goes to the oven, and I'm going to leave that in there for 50 minutes. All right, it's quite a while. 50 minutes, and we'll come back later and see how they're doing. Okay, see you later. Well, I think our first pie, our pasty with potato and leek and cheese is done. Do you want to come and have a look? Come with me, come with me. Come on, come on. Oh, here they are. Oh, look at that. Don't they look nice? Oh, they look lovely. I'm just going to pop them down on here. Look at that. They come out. Oh, lovely. Oh, delish. Right. Let's cut one open and see what they're like, shall we? Hang on a second. I'll just get a knife. I'll just get a knife. Here we go. Right, here we are. So, oh, look at that. Lovely. Oh, can you see all that juicy leek and potato? A lovely cheesy filling, and that's pastry's all done around the edge there. Oh, very nice. Oh, look at that. Oh, yum. And you could just take that on a picnic like that. You know, going on a picnic. There you are, little portable pie. All right, brilliant. See you later.